Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the new Jazwares, the Spartan Collection Master Chief. This one is part of Series 5, and it comes with not Cortana, but also Cortana, because if you played the game, they're like, hey, it's not Cortana, but actually it is, but it's not. But it is, but it's not. And that wasn't annoying at all, I promise. So this Master Chief is another one, and we're going to review it. So let's go ahead and get it off the stand and take a closer look. Before we get into the review, I do want to ask you guys, do you want me to get Blue Team and review him? And do you want me to get this new version of this guy and review him? Because he is slightly different. I already reviewed him. Not going to review either of these, so you get to pick. Do you want me to find these and review them? I will track them down if you guys desire it. Okay, let's get into the meat and taters of this video. But before we get into the rest of the review, we have to talk about today's sponsor, which is, as you might guess, Into the AM. They are the graphic t-shirt people. That's what I call them. That's not what they call them. I think graphic tees are their bread and butter. That's why we're talking about them today. They have new designs. This is one of them. It's called Sakura something or other. It has the cherry blossoms going on here, and then mountains and stuff. It's very Japanese-ish. I like it a whole bunch. This is my wife's favorite one, by the way. So for those of you who are trying to impress the ladies, if your ladies are like my wife, they might like it. This is another one of their new designs. This one's a little bit more subdued, not all the neon colors. I would like to see a version of this with neon colors, but I really liked the grayscale and like the star pattern inside the astronaut. Can you see that? You can see that. Super cool. So yeah, if you're not into the very bright colors on black, they do have other options. I just happen to prefer those. They have a lot of cool new designs, so you want to check those out. And one of the things they wanted me to show you, they sent me this. They have snapbacks now. So it has their logo right here, and then this one's just solid black, and then it has green down here. They have other ones that have like nebulous type patterns and stars and stuff like that on there. Nice snapback here. They're really high quality, if you see that. That gives you a little more info about them. I can't put it on because it'll just look bad, because I'm too big. I'm 6'5", I have a large head. I think it fits my body, but whatever. Hats don't fit me unless I get oversized large people hats. So even if I put it all the way like this, like it'll definitely fit on my head, technically speaking, but it'll look goofy as hell. And I wouldn't want to do them a disservice, or myself, or your eyeballs. So I'm not going to do that, but they are nice hats. They're super high quality. It just won't fit me because I need special sizes for my head. But yeah, they have awesome t-shirts. They are by far the best graphic t-shirts I own. I own like 20 of them now. I just keep getting more. Since I gained some weight after the baby, I had to get different sizes of things I already own. So I have even more. But yeah, I love these shirts. They're awesome. I recommend them. You guys keep buying them and telling me how much you love them. So I'm going to keep taking the sponsorships. It's a perfect pairing. And so yeah, check them out. They have new designs. They do sell out sometimes pretty quickly, but they are constantly restocking, and they're still restocking the older designs too. So if you like those, you can check those out, and it's just perfect. They're always having bundle deals and things like that. You can subscribe and get random shirts and save even more that way. It's the same usual spiel, but this time I want to tell you about the new designs and the hat. So go check them out. The link is in the description below. You can save some money using my discount code. And if you get something, let me know. Or if you already got something and haven't said so, let us know in the comment section below. But yeah, Into the AM, the best t-shirts I own, graphic t-shirts, all t-shirts really, but graphic tees are the thing. And now the only hat I own. So check them out. This guy stands to the top of his head about 19 centimeters. That's going to make him roughly 7.5 inches. This is the mold that has the extra long turkey neck. So if you want an accurate mold, you have to go with the earlier Master Chief in terms of the mold. If you want a better paint job, this is probably the best overall paint job we've seen for the Halo Infinite Master Chief from this line. For a quick size comparison, here he is up against probably the best Marvel Legends figure of all time. You can see he scales very well in the 1/12 scale. I would say it's just about perfect. I love that they did that. I hate that they keep making problematic figures, even though they're so close to being great. Alright, time for question of the day. Did the Cortana storyline in Halo Infinite do it for you? Or are you as upset about Cortana being absolutely destroyed as a character in Halo 5 and then just kind of thrown away in Halo Infinite? Because that's how I feel. Halo 4 was such a good story arc. Like, all of Halo was such a good story arc for the character, and then they just totally crapped all over it in Halo 5. And Infinite did not do anything to bring her back. Like, okay, so she's a clone of Cortana, so she is Cortana, and but she's not Cortana, and I want Cortana. That's all. Okay, let's talk about the figure. Like I said, this probably is the best looking version of this or best looking version of this version of Master Chief. I think the plastic's pretty good. It's still probably a little light. I think the more subtle shading, though it is still kind of heavy, is better. And there's not a ton of silver on it. There's more than I would like, but it's not bad. So, yeah, it works. The visor is still super nice. The visor is definitely the main selling point for this line, for sure. You can see me waving in there. So yeah, it's good. If you're okay with the way these figures look, this is one of the better ones. I still think the Halo 4 one looks better, and some of the other ones look better for different reasons. I hate the big long neck on this guy. But otherwise, it's a pretty solid looking figure. I'm not going to go into super high detail because we've seen these molds a bunch now. I don't think anything changed mold-wise. Nothing stood out to me. So I'm going to leave it at that. So aesthetically speaking, he's fine. He's not the best one overall, I don't think, but he is the best one of the long neck version. So I'll give it an 8 out of 10 for the aesthetic. For the price point, it's pretty good. Now, as far as accessories go, he has the 2 gripping hands that come out of him in the package. Then he gets another gripping hand. Then he gets some kind of trigger finger, but more like trigger discipline finger hands, and those are okay. And then we get this other hand that has the chip and the not Cortana figure on it, which is a pretty cool idea, except I did it better like 10 years ago. I'll see if I can find an image of that, because this chip is freaking huge. The little Cortana thing is pretty good. I like that, but I've made my own chip before, and it looked way better than this, and I did it in my basement. So that's pretty disappointing. And this thing is huge. This plugs into the back of his helmet. Look, that slot right there, any of you who have watched Halo know what I watched Halo. Not watched Halo, don't watch that. I'm talking about the game. If you have seen Halo, it slides into the back of his helmet. Look how big this chip is. Holy crap, he doesn't have a head. He doesn't have a head. It's confirmed. He only has that one part of his face that we saw at the end of Halo 4. Yeah. Okay, so that's the accessory with Cortana on it. Speaking of Cortana, not Cortana accessories, we get the Pedestal Accessory, which I have to say would be impressive if it wasn't done better 15 years ago by Joyride. Way better. I mean, that was a standalone release, but still way better. And then better by McFarlane a few years ago for Halo 4. This is just not good. Firstly, let's talk about the Cortana figure as if it's a real figure. It's terrible. Couldn't have worse proportions. Little tiny baby arms, little tiny torso, giant legs, ugly, ugly head. And also, goodness gracious, that head is ugly. What is up with the arm pose? Why are her arms like that? They don't have articulation other than this. What are we supposed to do? Is she like Running Man? Holding a pizza box? What is this pose? It's freaking weird. Is it from the game where she just stands there in an awkward robot pose? I don't get it. Why did they bother articulating it at all? Frankly, it doesn't do anything. Having the 1980s swivel cut at an angle hips is just... why? Just don't do that. It's weird. The head doesn't even move. It's freaking weird and hideous. And also, it's transparent. Kind of. You can see on the legs it's a little bit transparent. But not really. Because this thing has the power of like 15 suns in it. It's freaking bright. You press this button and you go blind. You guys won't go blind. But it is freaking bright. 4 super bright LEDs. And you peg her feet in here and you turn it on. And it does nothing. I have it in demo mode. So... it doesn't really do anything. Like, her feet glow. And here, you know what? I'll turn the lights off. I'll leave a couple lights on just so you can see. But you can tell, it's not even really glowing. Her feet are glowing and the rest is just the light bouncing off the sides of her legs. The insides of her legs. It's so bright, yet it doesn't even make her glow because of the way they did the plastic. So that's super disappointing to me. I mean, I hate the character because they totally ruined the real Cortana with this one that I thought was super annoying. Also, the other guy was super... Halo Infinite is such a dumpster fire, man. What a disappointment. Anyway, this is terrible. If you like really bright LEDs, this is great, but this whole thing, terrible. Okay, other accessories include the sword, which is pretty nicely done. We've seen that before, but it's pretty good. We got the sidekick, which has a little paint on it. That's okay. And we got the plasma pistol, which is pretty well done. Also, why did they turn the plasma pistol into the most useless gun in the history of video games? It's been the plasma pistol for 20 years, and now it's just a worthless thing in the game. They're ruining the game like they're trying to, but now maybe not now that Bonnie Ross is gone. Okay, and then we get the AR, which is painted well enough, but doesn't have the screen on it, so that's okay. Accessory-wise, I'll go... I don't know. Let me turn off Cortana. I will go... 7 out of 10. There's a decent spread. The Cortana one sucks, but the guns and hands alone are nice enough. But not having a new Master Chief and all that budget going into a piece of crap Cortana does bother me. Weapon, whatever you call it. Or did she end up taking the name Cortana at the end? Did she pull a Skywalker? I don't remember. Anyway, accessory 7 out of 10. So I will mention they do still peg in on the hip or on the thigh right here. And on the back right there, those pop out, swap around, same thing right here. And it's a pretty cool feature, I like that they included that. And then we'll go ahead and run the articulation real quick, just in case you guys haven't seen the other reviews, but they're up there. They're all up there. I've reviewed all of the Master Chiefs from this line, other than the one I asked about in the beginning, so there you go. Alright, so the head does rotate around on the neck, which is gigantic. The neck is huge, and it leans up and down very nicely. I will say, if they could work out their weird issues, these figures are so freaking good. Like, the sculpts are nice. They're not perfect, but they're nice. But the long neck, the terrible articulation, it just... why? Alright, so the shoulder's still fairly loose, but not floppy, so that's okay. You get your full rotation, you get your hinge. Shoulder pad will flex a little bit, but not that much. I think that's fine, though. That's reasonable. You get your bicep swivel, double jointed elbow. Like, mostly these figures are good, especially at the price point, but then you'll see. Alright, wrists have a swivel and a hinge, so that's fine. Torso articulation. Still terrible. We still have this situation, which means this part doesn't move at all. It just pegs in. Did I do it backwards? No. Peg in. What's happening? So you get this ball peg that goes down in here, but you also get no range. It's like... why? Why? There's no reason for it. The hips... they do go out to the side pretty well. That's nice. They're not super loose on this guy, so that's pretty good. They're just basic ball pegs. They go forward nicely. These are probably the best hips they've done so far because they are tight and they're not super gappy, though he's got a giant cod piece. But decent range there. Thigh swivel is acceptable. Double jointed knee is just as bad as ever. Look at that disgusting mess. That knee and this guy. They're on par. They're both awful, awful things. So yeah, it has decent enough range, but holy crap, he's got a 3 long bone leg. He's got a double jointed knee, literally. That is the weirdest thing, not counting the knees that don't work at all from this company. For the ankle, it goes back just a little bit. It goes forward a decent amount. And the ankle rocker is pretty steep, so like they really need to work on that. All they have to do is set the joint lower, bring the peg out more straight, and it would work better. So that's acceptable, but not good. And the toe joint is actually a really well-designed toe joint. Like, the best joint on this thing is the toe joint. This is exactly how I've been saying toe joints need to be designed for like 15 years now, and they did it, so that's cool. But otherwise, this figure's articulation is not good. It's passable at best for more of like a hero pose, neutral pose thing. Don't use the knees because they look terrible. So articulation on this guy gets a 5 out of 10. They need to just redo the bad parts, definitely. They did for the CE Chief, from what I understand, so if I review that new version of the CE Chief, you'll see that, but they just keep screwing stuff up. So, basically the same story as always with Jazwares. They're so close. They're so close with this Halo line, the 6-inch one. This little ones seem to be really good. They're so close to just wonderful, wonderful line of figures. They're so close, but then they're just so far away at the same time by the mistakes they're making. It's weird, and I've offered to work for them publicly for free, just for some recognition, to help them get their things figured out on this Halo line. So hey, if they ever reach out, I'd be thrilled, but so far they haven't. So anyway, as this whole set goes, the Cortana sucks. The Chief isn't a significant improvement, so just don't buy this wave of this version of Master Chief. Get the other ones, one of the other ones. I've reviewed all of them, pick one that you like, but this one's just not worth it. The uptick in price is not worth it for the ugly Cortana accessory and another of the same Master Chief. So, I'm gonna go 5 out of 10 for the set. There it is. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, a thumbs down is fine, and if you haven't subscribed, you should. I have new videos almost every single day, and thousands already on the channel, so make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.